now, I'm gonna play the role of the ride leader. We're gonna ride her down.
Oh, good.
Would you go up the road? No, you stay down, please.
Oh.
Would you go up the road and stop the traffic from coming from the east? And you go up the road, Becky, you go up the road and stop the traffic from coming from the west. Start flagging your arms, do whatever you have to do. She is going to evaluate him because she happens to be a nurse.
Nice and still, you're doing great. How do you feel?
Okay.
Do you have any pain anywhere?
Mike,
Does
try to
anything
keep him
hurt?
still.
Yes.
You're dizzy.
Okay,
Do you
now
have any
I'm going to call
allergies,
911
medications?
No.
because that's one of the first things you want to do. If there's indication that the helmet is cracked, the ride is over for that rider. There's no question about it. That's an absolute stop, okay?
We're all big advocates of Road ID. You can get it in various forms, whether it's a wristband, you can get the necklace, you can get things you clip onto your shoe. I personally like the web version so that it's more than just an emergency contact and phone number. You pay the $9.99 a year, and now you've got 4 pages of medical history that can be accessed through the internet or by an 800 number. A lot of helpful features, one of which is if you use a screen lock, which I do, you can create a screen that even though your phone is locked, I know you can't see it out there, but this is actually, it has my 3 emergency contacts. It says I'm allergic to yellow jackets. My insurance company is Aetna, and that's right on my screen before having to punch in the code to open up the phone.
Is the preservation and the collection of evidence. And this is where I'm really begging you guys to help us out, because bike accidents, especially the nicer the bike, the more it tends to break apart if something goes wrong. I can often figure out exactly the speed that you were going into the slide if you laid the bike down. If you hit a vehicle, whether it's head on or at the side, I can figure out the speed of the vehicle, the speed of the bike, who was at fault, where it happened, all that. Unless you guys come in and you pick up the bike and you test out the brakes and you switch gears and you take it and you throw it off to the side to get it out of the way. Leave the debris where it is, if there is any. I know the bike's expensive and it's awesome and you want to check it out. If it's a bad accident or a serious injury, I'm taking the bike with me anyway. I hate to say you'll get it back eventually, but that becomes part of the investigation and everything. And just kind of help us out. I understand you saw what happened, you saw him go down, you want to tell me what happened. I will get to you, I promise. We'll interview you, you can give us a written statement and everything. But just kind of let us do our evidence documentation first, and we'll go from there.
Try and create a little safe barrier until some emergency vehicles get on scene, and then that's what we do with the emergency vehicles. Once we get some flashing lights and stuff going, that usually slows people down enough that they want to stop and eyeball what's going on. So by that is if a person falls down and hits their head and they're a little bit disoriented, the information we get from them may not be 100% reliable. And whenever you ask somebody, are they okay, what do you suppose the #1 answer is? Yeah, I'm fine. There could be a lead time is the point, so the sooner you call, the better it is. If we cancel afterwards, that's fine, we can all go back. If we come, check everything out, and you say everybody's fine, no need, we can go ahead and go back in service. Try and be accurate with your location. As a rider, you probably want to be aware of where you are at any given time anyway, but if you could relate it to a street name and a street number of the nearest address, that's most helpful. So we can send the closest resource to you and obviously find you.
Forgive me for being stern with it sometimes, but it's so true that we really do have to, bottom line, as cyclists, as members of the club, as just human beings and sharing the road out there, please obey the laws that are, it's our right to use the law, to use the roads, but it's also our obligation to follow the law when we're there. Going around cars, zooming through traffic, those are just things that not only give us a bad name, but cause accidents. So I'm looking at people who are obviously, interested in the right thing to do, but it's also a good idea to spread that goodness along. When you're riding with other people, you going by example. If you do see it on a ride that you're on, it's okay to say, hey, Mike, I know you like to break the law, but please don't do that. it's just it's a major part of our mission as a club. And fun, competition, camaraderie, community, but education and safety. Without those two things, the rest of it is impossible.